Deuteronomy 24. Compassion, justice, and dignity in everyday life. Moses told Israel that if a man took a wife and married her, and later found something indecent about her, he could write her a certificate of divorce, put it in her hand, and send her out of his house. If she went and became another man's wife, and the second husband also divorced her or died, the first husband was not allowed to take her again as his wife because she had been defiled. That would be detestable to the Lord, and Israel was not to bring sin on the land the Lord was giving them. Moses then said that when a man was newly married, he was not to go out with the army or be charged with any business. He was to be free at home for 1 year to be happy with his wife. Moses commanded that no one was to take a millstone or an upper millstone in pledge, because that would be taking a person's livelihood as security. If a man was found kidnapping one of his brothers of the people of Israel and treating him as a slave or selling him, that kidnapper was to die, so that evil would be purged from among them. Moses warned Israel to be careful about the disease of leprosy, and to do exactly what the priests, the sons of Levi, taught them, just as the Lord had commanded. They were to remember what the Lord their God did to Miriam on the way as they came out of Egypt. When they lent anything to their neighbor, they were not to go into his house to take a pledge, but were to stand outside, and the man was to bring the pledge out to them. If the man was poor, they were not to keep his cloak overnight, but were to return it to him before sunset, so he could sleep in it and bless them, and it would be counted as righteousness. Moses said they were not to oppress a hired servant who was poor and needy, whether he was one of their brothers or a sojourner. They were to pay him his wages the same day before the sun went down, because he depended on it. Fathers were not to be put to death for their children, nor children for their fathers. Each one was to be put to death for his own sin. They were not to pervert justice for the sojourner or the fatherless, nor take a widow's garment in pledge. They were to remember that they were slaves in Egypt, and the Lord redeemed them, and therefore they were to do these things. When they reaped their harvest and forgot a sheaf in the field, they were not to go back for it. It was to be for the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, so that the Lord might bless all the work of their hands. They were to do the same with their olive trees and vineyards, leaving what remained for the poor and needy. Next comes Deuteronomy 25, where Moses gives laws about fairness, responsibility, and preserving family inheritance.